With that, Senator Ricketts.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to our witnesses for being here today to talk about this. And I agree with Senator Shaheen. Really important issue that more Americans ought to be taking notice of for just the reasons that you all described with regard to the economic impacts to the United States and the quality of life here in a potential Taiwan contingency. Over the past several years, Taiwan has made real sacrifices to improve its self-defense. Dr. Doshi, you outlined some of those. Raising defense spending, restructuring its force, and investing in systems that make an invasion more costly to Beijing. But even as Taiwan steps up, the United States is failing to deliver key capabilities on the timeline deterrence requires. Bureaucratic backlogs and sluggish notifications are creating vulnerabilities we cannot afford. FMS cases get bogged down by bureaucratic delays, industrial base constraints, and outdated notification rules. Dr. Dickey, you highlighted this clearly in your testimony. With these delays don't just hurt the timelines, they weaken Taiwan's political will and ultimately increase the risks to U.S. forces and what they would face if deterrence fails. That's exactly why I introduced the Porcupine Act with Senator Coons. It would put Taiwan in the NATO Plus category to cut notification times and raise thresholds. We want to ensure weapons that we've already approved are available and actually reach Taiwan when they matter. Dr. Dickey, you made the point that the current FMS system erodes confidence inside Taiwan's political system. Can you walk us through how an erosion of confidence translates into real-world deterrence failings?
Thank you, Senator. It's an important issue and one that I care a lot about personally as well, too. So arms sales are a high visibility barometer of the U.S. commitment to Taiwan. And whenever there is a delay or notifications are bundled or held for political reasons, that barometer, that signal of U.S. support decreases significantly for all that we are doing with Taiwan and across the Taiwan Strait. Particularly today, we see a sharp drop in notifications year on year, both in terms of dollar amount and frequency. My concern is that sends a sign of our wavering commitment to Taiwan, even as we continue to use authorities like PDA and FMF to open up other forms of defense and security cooperation with Taiwan. My bottom line really is this. I think FMS is but one piece of the toolkit that we have for Taiwan, and all of the pieces of legislation and resources we're reaching for to help accelerate and break down some of these pipelines and issues are important. But they can't be the only thing that we're doing. We need to continue to lean forward and use PDA to its fullest potential, use FMF, pursue defense sales that are direct commercial in nature and outside of the traditional procurement lanes, and really find all of the efficiencies available to us to ensure that these delays are not what's breaking down and that they're not seen as a sign of our wavering commitment to Taiwan.
Yeah. How does Beijing read these delays? And again, you mentioned some of the drop-offs in deliveries, and how does that shape their assessment of our resolve to support Taiwan?
Look, I think that Beijing has to plan for a Taiwan crisis based on what they can see as being delivered to Taiwan. And so when we are unable to deliver the systems that we publicly say Taiwan needs, these asymmetric capabilities, large numbers of small things that would help them counter the threat both day-to-day and in a crisis, I think Beijing could wake up and say, this is an easier fight than what we think it might be. They could wake up and say, today could be the day that we, Beijing, take action against Taiwan. And so when we're not able to deliver these systems on time and on budget due to challenges within the U.S. defense industrial base, I think that really credibly undermines that deterrence mirror that Beijing would otherwise be staring straight into.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you've seen some of these cases up close. Where in the FMS process does Taiwan lose the most time?
Frankly, it depends on the capability, and it also depends on the defense prime that is executing the case. So sometimes a defense prime can strategically say, we would like to move Taiwan to the front of the queue, and they will make changes in their production line to put Taiwan first above others. Sometimes the defense primes are unable to do that because they have other fiscal considerations. There's one specific example that comes to mind for a platform where Taiwan was further down the list. I believe it was number 3 or 4 or even 5. And the defense prime in this case was not able to move Taiwan forward because there would have been a significant amount of non-recurring engineering costs that would have had to transfer from another foreign partner to Taiwan to pay for the system that Taiwan had contracted for. These are all process issues, right? If the Department of Defense and State work together to figure out ways with Congress to reallocate funds and figure out how to pay for some of these costs, my view is that it is possible to consistently move Taiwan to the front of the queue on production lines.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Dickey. Appreciate it.